Yo, what's going on? What's going on, brothers? What is going on? It is your dude, Mr. International Passport, here again for what's going to be, without a doubt, a future classic live stream. First and foremost, though, press on one in the live stream chat if you can hear me loud and clear. We're in for a very explosive live stream. We potentially may crash out on kick, depending on how it goes, okay? Because there's a lot to talk about here, okay? But if you can hear me though, type a one in the live stream chat. Who's here? Mayday, Mayday. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Can y'all hear me? Can you brothers hear me? Who's here? Activo in the cut. Leo O'Connor in the cut. Who else is in the cut? Story to Michael in the cut. Who else is here with me, man? Who else is here with me? Johnny Walker in the cut. Shout out to Johnny, man. That's a bro right there. Johnny in the cut. Awesome, 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 awesome. So, special announcements first, though. All right. Jules Santana. One day I smile. So let's get straight into it, okay? All right. So as you can see on the screen, Python course coming Q4 2025 for you aspiring tech bros. There's a link pinned in the live stream chat for you to put your email down. So when all the details are fleshed out and everything, you get an email to sign up, etc., the costs, all that stuff. So put your email down. All right. Aside from that, throughout tonight, show support, hit the super chats. If you have any questions, support what I do on the channel. And of course, we'll have a call-in show as well later on for you guys to call in and chime in about this particular situation. And again, we could potentially crash out on kick, depending on how the stream goes, okay? So, unless you've been under a rock, right, this has been one of the biggest news in the past 24 hours, okay? And that news is that Donald Trump, the US president, signed an executive order raising the H-1B visa fee to $100,000 a year. Okay. Now, I'm going to share a video so we can see the actual signing of that particular document. Okay. And the explanation as to why Trump did so. Now, before I share that video, all right, I want to put it out there that almost everyone in America, apart from the top elites, the executives and leaders, are against the H-1B visas. Okay, it takes away jobs from many talented individuals. Okay, and it's just not fair. All right, you work hard, and they're giving jobs to people that are not American. Okay, in many numbers, which to an extent isn't a bad thing. But when it becomes abused, right, and mishandled, then it's a problem. So let me share my screen over here. All right. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share screen over here. Share screen. Okay. And I'm going to go to the actual video here over here. Okay. So you can see here, right? Okay. It says here, Trump signs executive order raising H-1B visa fee to $100,000. Okay, so let's react to it. All right, let's react to it.
One of the most abused visa systems in our current immigration system has been the H-1B non-immigrant visa program. This is supposed to...
You see, so like you heard that comment there, one of the most abused visa application programs. They know for many years, people have been mentioning that why is it that, American graduates ain't getting jobs? Why is it that, in certain industries, people who are skilled in certain attributes are not getting jobs, right? These corporations have been for so long abusing this system, not only in America, okay, but similar systems in Canada, UK, and other high-income Western countries. And at this point in time, enough is enough. These jobs should be going to American people. Now, in the UK case, UK jobs should be going to UK people first and foremost. Okay? There has to be some sort of limit to the abuse of this system. Let's carry on watching.
Allow highly skilled laborers who work in fields that Americans don't work in to come into the United States of America. What this proclamation will do is raise the fee that companies pay to sponsor H-1B applicants to $100,000. This will ensure that the people they're bringing in are actually very highly skilled and that they're not replaceable by American workers. So it'll protect American workers, but ensure that companies have a pathway to hire truly extraordinary people and bring them to the United States to work.
Okay. So that fee of $100,000 a year is a very high fee. All right. And I'm all for it. Right. I'm all for it. I wish it could be higher. Okay. But 100K is enough. Right. That means if they want to bring in someone that's not American, they're going to pay that person $100,000 fee, which is a lot of money. You may as well just hire an American. The paperwork, the flight accommodation, the whole stuff, it'll be far more expensive to hire an immigrant, right? So they've known for a long time it's been abused, and no one has said anything, bro. Democrats quiet, Trump in the previous administration quiet, right? So they all know, and now something's being done here, all right? And many people aren't too happy about that. Okay, let's carry on watching.
We need workers. We need great workers, and this pretty much ensures that that's what's going to happen. I think, Sean, do you agree with that?
Well, they're $100,000 per year. So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers. They have to.
Looking at you, Microsoft. Looking at you, Facebook. Looking at you, Google, Amazon, who are companies that are very well known to use this H-1B visas. Why not train Americans? Listen, in our space as passport bros, there's plenty of brothers who have the skill set, the certs. Why not hire these brothers? Why are you looking elsewhere? Enough is enough. These kind of jobs should be going to passport bros who want to get into tech, who are already in tech, and American people. They need to come first, right? No more games. The economy is shaky, right? And we cannot be affording to be shipping out jobs or bringing in people that are not American. And same for every other Western country too. I want to see something similar in Canada and in the UK, and there's nothing wrong with that because enough is enough. These tech jobs gotta be coming back to American people and my brothers in the passport bro space. I'm always going to speak up for my brothers. I'm always going to want the best for brothers who want to get into tech or who are already in tech in this passport bro space, because the remote jobs are there, bro. Let's get it cracking.
Pay the government $100,000, then they have to pay the employee. So it's just non-economic. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land.
Yes. You're going to train recent American graduates, and you're going to train, right, our passport brothers in the passport bro space who want to get into tech and get an IT job. You're going to train them. No more, bruv. Enough is enough. They got the money. I mean, goddamn, like every quarter, Google's earning $50 billion a year. So every quarter, you telling me that you can't use that money to train your own people? No, you scheming, bro. You scheming. Cut the effing check. Cut the goddamn check.
Train Americans. Stop bringing in people to take our jobs.
Train Americans. Yes. Train Americans. Train my brothers who are American. Train them. No more games. No more bringing in Indians and any other people. I'm telling you, no, tonight I got the smoke, bro. No more. And then you're bringing in people from other countries who are anti-black, and then you put them as managers, and they don't hire black people. Enough is enough, bro. Listen, we're going to war, bruv. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. How many times have you seen, right, when someone that's not, let's say, American, right, that's an immigrant, right, they become a manager, they become a director, and they only hire their own people. They only hire their own people. How common is that, bro? They only hire their own people. That's got to stop. That's stopping. That's stopping ASAP. Let's carry on watching.
Jobs, that's the policy here, $100,000 a year for H-1B visas, and all of the big companies are on board. We've spoken to them about the gold card.
They love it. They love it. They really love it. They need it. Go ahead, Sean.
Mr. President, it seems like there's two categories of visa programs. The H-1B, that a lot of people believe take American jobs, and then the gold card and programs
Yes, it does take American jobs.
like EB-5 that add value and jobs to America. Is that sort of how you look at the visa program?
Well, ideally, look, if somebody's got the people, they're not going to want to spend $100,000 as an example in your second category. So it's not taking jobs. And we need certain jobs. We need certain skill jobs that we don't have. But they won't be taking jobs because, ideally, the people aren't going to want to, they're not going to.
Investing in America and creating
Right, that's
jobs.
right.
So that's why I'm asking.
They're really
It
investing.
seems like you have two categories. One, the Secretary Lutnick, the gold card and EB-5 that create jobs, add investment, and then there's other ones that seem to take, whether it's a J1 and O or an H-1B that take U.S. jobs.
Yeah, that's pretty correct. I would say that's a correct assessment. But the main thing is we're going to have great people coming in and they're going to be paying. I mean, it's wonderful to say, oh, gee, we took in 25 million people that, look, many criminals, jails were open from Venezuela, from many.
All right. Okay. So you've heard it, right? This is the official statement that happened yesterday. Okay. Now I want to share my screen as to who's benefiting the most from H-1B visas. What group of people or peoples have been benefiting coming into America and the Western countries? Because we have the same issue here in the UK as well. And in Canada, it's a lot more worse in Canada, right? Ideally, if I'm honest with you, it's a Western problem. Okay. Who is benefiting the most from this H-1B visa fee? Okay. Or visa application process. I'm going to share my screen over here. Okay. I'm going to show you some interesting stats here. Okay. So you can just see, right, what's really going on here. Because once again, enough is enough. These jobs must be going, okay, to American people and brothers in the passport bro space. I don't give a damn where you're from. No, enough is enough. Okay. So let me share my screen over here real quick. Okay. Share screen. Okay. So here's some stats here, right, as to the group of people who benefit from the H-1B visa stuff. Okay. Now, this is from the year 2020, but it's similar to recent stats. Okay. There's one country in particular, which is insane. India has the overall share, 74% in 2020 was from India, just over 300,000 people. Then we have China, Canada, and look how small these numbers are compared to China and India. Notice how there's not one African country, not one Caribbean country, not one black country. Have you noticed that? What's going on there, bruv? They always want to get from India number one, if not China. No, enough is enough. You're telling me that Americans can't do the job that Indians do when America has the best universities in the world? Harvard, Brown University, Massachusetts, UMass, UCLA, what else? Princeton. You're telling me that it's so bad in America, you have to ship in a bunch of Indians to do your job. No. We know what's really going on here. These companies bring in Indians to shortchange American salaries. They don't want to pay top dollar for your skill set. They'll bring in Indians and pay them pennies. Well, guess what? Trump said you got to pay them $100K minimum to bring them in. That's exactly what we were waiting for, bro. That's exactly the kind of news we were waiting for. Then China as well, they're getting this smoke too. They're getting this smoke too, right? China has top universities, right? But America has the most top universities in the world. So why are you bringing Chinese in? Why not train your own American people to a standard that you believe is far more better than India and Chinese people? No more games, because these tech jobs have to go to American people and people in the passport bro space. There's hella IT bros in the passport bro space. I want these jobs going to my American brothers. I want these tech jobs going to my American brothers. The effery has been going on for far too long. Far too long. Far too long. And you know what makes me angry? Is the fact that when they bring in immigrants, right? Immigrants, some of them become managers, directors, and some of them have anti-Black thinking. Why are you bringing anti-Black people into the West? They become managers, directors. They refuse to hire any Black people. Have you ever had an interview with an Indian person and a Chinese person? I guarantee you, let me know in the live stream chat, right? You're going to hear stories now. It's even now affecting white people as well, right? They will just like, if you go for a role, right, a few of them will ask you questions that do not pertain to that role. So they're trying to catch you out there and say, oh, you're not ready. They deny you the job or gone on any further. I've heard so many stories about that, bro. I've heard so many stories as to they bring an Indian guy in the company, becomes manager or director, and he's only hiring Indian people in the country. Worse, he actually says to the board that he or she can't find any skilled people in the market. We got to get it through H-1B visa. That's bringing in more Indians in, bro. We know the games they're playing. We know the games they're playing, and that game is being stopped. Everyone knows the game that's being played. Black people, white people, Latinos. Enough is enough. You will not come to my country or America and push out any anti-Black thinking against my brothers. It's on sight. Knowing that we worked hard to get to where we were, we come from underprivileged environments. You want to come in and push anti-Black thinking, refuse to hire Black people or hostile to Black people in the workplace. That's not happening, bruv. You see, people are not happy as to how the West is going down. That's on my passport, bro. But there's too much effery in the West that's being ignored. You got this issue. You got feminism. You got the way women act, right? You got the way governments do things. They all know this H-1B visa stuff has been a problem. Enough is enough. How are you going to tell me that 75% is coming from India? Why is it always India? Like, it's insane to me, bro. Never from a Black country, no. Always from Asia, Asian countries, or whatever country, bro. Look, Taiwan, South Korea, China, India. Don't play me, bro. So you've seen who makes up the recipients of the H-1B visa, okay? Now, let's hear the reaction, right, of the effect of this, okay? Let me stop sharing over here, okay? And let me bring up an article over here from a news article, okay? Hold on. Right, so I want to bring up this article over here, right? Okay. Let me share my screen. Share screen. Share screen. Share screen, okay? So I want to show the reaction to Trump's adding $100K fee for skilled worker visa applicants, okay? Let's see what people thought about this, okay? It says here, US President Donald Trump has signed an order that will add $100K annual fee for applicants for the H-1B visa. That's a lot of money, bro. A lot of people in America, let me know in the live stream chat, but the average American is not earning $100K. The average American is not earning $100K a year for any job. Let me know in the live stream chat if that's true or false. Type of 1 if it's true, type of 2 if it's false. So if you're going to pay $100K to someone, why not pay it to Americans? If you're going to pay $100K, right, to someone, why not pay it to Americans? So it says here, right, critics have long argued that H-1B visas undercut the American workforce. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. In another order, Trump set up a new gold card to fast-track visas for certain immigrants in exchange for fees starting at £1 million. Good. Awesome. It says here, right, okay, and this is a statement by, this will come into force tomorrow, actually, 21st September, okay? It would only apply to new requests. The companies would have to pay the same amounts for each applicant for 6 years. The company needs to decide, is the person valuable enough to have $100K a year payment to the governments, or they should head home and they should go hire an American. All the big companies are on board. Great. Okay. So now let me go downstairs, right? Okay. And let me show you, right, the reaction to it. Okay. It says here, to me, Tamina Watson, okay, who's a lawyer, has said that the ruling could be a nail in the coffin for many of our clients that are mostly small businesses and startups. Why can't those clients hire Americans though? I don't get it. Like, it's like they're trying to say, it's like they think that Americans are not smart enough for many jobs, and that's not true. America has the best universities in the world, bro. Harvard, UMass, MIT. Don't play with me, bro. Don't. Enough of shortchanging Americans and passport bros and aspiring IT bros, and pay them what they're goddamn worth. She says here, right? Almost everyone is going to be priced out. This 100K as a starting point is going to have a devastating impact. Well, duh. Hire Americans, idiot. Hire Americans. Knowing that many small or medium-sized businesses will tell you they actually can't find workers to do the job. America has over 300 million people. There's an abundance of talent there. And I know it because I teach Python to brothers every year. And I teach very smart brothers who do fantastic jobs in my courses. Do not play with me here. Stop shortchanging Americans, pay them what they're worth, right? And stop it. Okay? So she says here, right? Some companies might consider setting up operations outside the US. You see? No. Bring jobs back to America. Bring the jobs back to America, bro. Don't play me. You see? Now people are not happy. They're making excuses. No. No. Okay? You need to, like, look at that, bro. So it says here, India was the largest beneficiary of H-1B visas last year. So last year, India accounted for 71% of approved applications, bro. China came second at 11.7%. No, that's got to stop. That's got to stop, bro. That needs to stop. Okay, so let me stop sharing over here, okay? I want to now show you, okay, the corporations who are playing funny games here. Okay. These corporations are the ones who mostly, right, are the ones doing these H-1B visa applications. Anyone can do it, but I want to show you the biggest companies on that time. Okay, so let me share my screen over here. Share screen, share screen, share screen. Okay, so here are the companies, right? Big tech companies, okay, that were H-1B visa beneficiaries in 2014. Amazon, right, had just under 10,000 H-1B visas approved. Didn't Amazon have layoffs last year or recently? How do you have layoffs at the same time hiring people abroad? The whole point of layoffs is that you have no money to pay your people. So you do have money, but you want to shortchange Americans, right, and not pay them what they're worth and go and hire cheap Indians. That's not right to me, bro. Infosys, that's an Indian company. No surprise that just over 8K was approved for an Indian company operating in America. Why doesn't Infosys hire Americans though? Why is it hiring Indians so much? We know why. Cognizant, another, I believe, Indian company, 6K. Google, didn't Google have, right, layoffs recently, like in the past year? So they had layoffs and they still went to hire 5,000 H-1B visa people. That's not right, Google. That's not right. Tata Consultancy Services. This is an Indian company. No surprise, 5K people of their own people from India. No surprise. Then we have Facebook, Microsoft, Apple. 4,000, 3,000. For what jobs? Are you telling me that you can't find 4,000 American people to do simple jobs in your company? I think you can, but you don't want to pay them the right money. You want to shortchange them. Enough is enough. And do you know why I'm really angry here to see the big companies here? Because most people, if not everyone, has used Amazon, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, or Apple for something. So we're giving them our money, bro. Amazon, you may shop on there, or if you have a small business, right, you may use Amazon Web Services to run your business on there. Google Maps, YouTube. Y'all on YouTube right now, right? Google owns YouTube. So we're giving Google our money and they're not hiring our people. They're not hiring brothers. They're not hiring Americans, but they're taking money from us. And you guys don't feel some type of way about that? Google made 50 billion last quarter? $50 billion in one quarter, bro. That's crazy money. And they're not hiring Americans. They want to do H-1B nonsense. Facebook, Meta. Do you use WhatsApp? Do you use Instagram? Do you use Facebook itself? Well, guess what? Meta owns those three companies. So they're making money off our time and us clicking their ads, and they can't hire us or American people. That's a problem, bro. That's a problem, bro. Microsoft. Do you use Microsoft Office? Do you use Word? Do you use PowerPoint? Do you play Xbox? Well, you're giving them your money and your time, bro. And they're not hiring, they're hiring 4,000 people. That could have been one of you. Apple, do you have an iPhone or iPad or iMac? Many of us do. You see, like at this point in time, we're done with the games, bro. We're done. You're making money off us, off our time, off us clicking your ads, and you don't want to hire us. Think about it, brothers. Enough is enough. Shout out to Trump for it's not a perfect law, but it's a start. It's a start. You hire American people. You hire American college graduates. You hire our young folks, our middle-aged folks, our old folks. You hire our brothers in the passport bro space who are aspiring tech bros. You best hire them, bro, because enough is enough. Enough. Same for what's happening in Canada and in the UK too. They're going through a lot of problems in Canada, bro. Same issue in America, but I think it's even 10 times worse in Canada. Well, that's got to stop there too. But I think it's over in Canada, in my opinion. UK as well. Y'all better get your ish together. Enough is enough. You hire UK people, you hire British people, you hire our young British people, and you pay them well. Stop shortchanging your own people when you're making billions, if not trillions, off our free time, mofos. And you won't even hire us? You want to hire from India and China instead? You don't want to hire our young college graduates who can't even get a job right now anywhere? It's on site. It's on site, bro. Stop the BS. Stop the flipping BS, bruv. So I want to also share another part, right, real quick. Okay. Let me share this this video. You see? Let me show this right over here. Right. So already, right, it's getting hot. It's getting real hot. Okay. I want to show you a tweet here. Right. As soon as Trump did the what's it called? Let me just share my screen. Hold on. I'm gonna share my screen. Share screen. Share screen. Share screen. Okay. So as soon as Trump said, right, as soon as Trump put that exec order to the world, right, it says here chaos in Emirates flight at SFO airport. I don't know where's SFO airport. Is that San Francisco? I don't know. Delayed by 3 hours after many Indian H-1B visas bound for India disembarked from the plane after hearing the news of 100K fees for H-1B. I can't believe this, bro. I can't believe this. Many Indian passengers apparently left the aircraft after receiving calls from their employers not to leave the US. So if they left the US, right, okay, they would have been screwed. Let me play the video real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the captain speaking. Due to the current circumstances, obviously, that are unprecedented for us here at Emirates, we are aware that a number of passengers do not wish to travel with us, and that's perfectly fine. All we ask is that if you wish to offload yourself.
How about you hire Americans to avoid things like this, bro? Once again, you're telling me that, I'm sorry, like I just can't fathom. I can't fathom that America has the top universities in the world, the top colleges in the world: Harvard, UMass, UCLA, USC, Brown University, Boston University. You're saying that Americans are not skilled enough for these jobs. You're lying to me. You're lying to me. The people that created Facebook, that created Instagram, that created WhatsApp, that potentially created Bitcoin, that created what's that company called? Apple, Microsoft. Where were they from? America. America. Americans have created the biggest tech companies in the world. And these companies have the audacity to tell the whole world, we can't find talent for our jobs, therefore we must hire Indians and Chinese for these roles and pay them peanuts. Well, guess what? You guys, right? You fools, you clowns have 100K to pay for these people. right? You got 100K. So why would you pay 100K for an Indian when you could pay 90K, 95K to an American? This bill that Trump did is the best thing he's done so far in his presidency. Let's not lie. Let's keep her a buck. These are the things as to why he won the presidency last year. Obama ain't did this. Joe Biden ain't did this. And under Joe Biden, H-1B visas went through the roof. Under Joe Biden, we saw layoffs left, right, and center. So Google, Amazon, Microsoft are laying off people, but they're still hiring from India. How are you going to lay off people at the same time and at the same time hire Indian people from abroad? We're not flipping stupid, bro. Y'all got the money. You don't want to pay Americans. We're not stopping. You got a 100K bill to get those Indians in the country. A 100K bill, cut the check, bro. If not, hire an American. Hire an American. Hire my people, the passport bros. Madness, bro. So I'm going to open the phone lines in a bit, right? I want to just like also share my screen rise to what's the reaction from India like? What do Indians think about this? Because they won't be happy about this. They won't be happy about this, right? It's funny how they can come into the West, right? But it's problems when we go to their country. Did y'all hear about the Zimbabwe dude that got the lead in India? I'm out to bring it up. Like, enough is enough. Like we can't be kind to everyone, and you ain't kind to us. No. So let me share my screen over here. Okay. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Look at this. Look at this, man. This is insane. Share screen. Okay. So let's see what Indians think about this. Okay. Let's see what Indians think. I'm gonna share my screen. So it says here, right? India warns new US fee for H-1B visa will have humanitarian consequences. What? What do you mean it will have humanitarian consequences? You see what I'm talking about, bruv? The West is not a dumping ground. We are not a dumping ground, right, for all other nations. No. American jobs should go to American people, first and foremost. UK jobs should go to UK people, first and foremost. Canadian jobs should go to Canadian people, first and foremost. Don't lie to me, bro. If you mean humanitarian consequences, let's check out even further. The Indian government has said a new 100K fee for applicants seeking US skilled worker visa will have humanitarian consequences. What humanitarian consequences are you talking about, bro? You see, President Trump on Friday ordered a new fee for H-1B visa applications, which is 60 times more the amount currently charged. Whoa, hold on. So you're telling me that they were paying nowhere near 100K to bring in Indians or Chinese into the country? 60 times more. So 60 divided by 100K, I don't know that. That's around what, 5,000? Unless I'm wrong. So it's gone from $5,000, right? What, 6,000? I think it's right. That's around 6,000, right? It's gone from $6,000, right, to 100K. $6,000 to 100K to bringing them in. Why on earth was America only charging $6,000 to bring Indians, Chinese, whatever into the country? This is what I'm talking about, bro. No wonder it was being abused. No wonder it was being abused by so many companies. Only $6,000 to bring in a foreigner, an immigrant into the West, and to pay them less than Americans. Not only that, right? We have the consequences of bringing them into our corporations. When they become, not all, but a good amount, And this is something that we see on Reddit, people complaining. If an Indian becomes a director or manager, why is the whole department Indian? Why don't I see no black people? Why don't I see no black people? Why is it an all Indian department? I see it in KFC in the UK. I see it in Subway in the UK. No, let's keep it a buck, man. Type of one in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Type of one in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Why is it that it's all the same people in KFC and Subway? That's not right, bruv. That's not right. What if a black person, a white person, a Latino person wants a job like that? Because they're not a certain race, they won't get that job. Let's keep it a buck. I see it happening in tech, in IT, in finance, in fast food stuff, right? And it was only costing $6,000 to bring them in. That's not right, bruv. Let's carry on even further, right? Okay. It says here, a statement from the Indian Ministry of External Affairs on Saturday said the fee would have humanitarian consequences by way of disruption caused for families. What about American families, though? The Indian government hopes that these disruptions can be addressed suitably by the US authorities. What? The exchange of skilled workers has contributed enormously for both nations. I'm sorry. How has that contributed to India? How has that contributed to us as normal working people who can't even get a job? Many people who can't even get a job at the moment. If salaries are being underappreciated, are being cut, right, because of this H-1B visas, how's that contributing to us? Don't play me, bro. And what about our families? You're born in America, you pay your American taxes, you've gone through school in America, you can't get a job, or like they're shortchanging you, or even worse, they lay you off and they hire someone abroad via H-1B. How's that benefiting us? What about our feelings? What about our feelings? Yeah, this gotta stop. This has to stop, bro. It's on site, bro. It's gotta stop. No, it's not an humanitarian crisis, or there'll be no consequence. America needs to put American people first. There are young people in America that can't find anything, bro. Have you seen the recent American economy stats for employment? They hardly created any jobs last quarter or last month. Hardly. A lot of our young people can't get a job who are skilled. Nuh-uh. That's gotta stop. I don't care how anyone feels. We need to put ourselves first. UK people needs to put UK first. Only hire UK people first and foremost. Canada too. Canada's going through a horrible time right now, bro. It's even worse in Canada with the whole H-1B stuff. Listen, I pray for Canada, bro. I pray for Canada. I particularly pray for Toronto and Vancouver. That place has been there. It's been overrun there in Canada, bro. In fact, it's probably is over in Canada. If you think America's bad, go to Canada, bro. When I'm hearing about Canada right now, it's so sad. So sad. Now, I'm going to open up the phone lines, right? Okay. If you want to call in, I'm going to open up the phone lines, okay? Please call in. And if you want to chime in and share your viewpoint as to, did Trump do the right thing here? Was this the right thing to do? Okay. Or is this, or could it have been better? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Call in. Okay, so I just put the link in the live stream chat. Let me read the super chats, okay? Shout out to Josh John for the support. Crazy how Microsoft laid off 60K, then hired H-1B. There you go, bro. Facts. How do you lay off people and at the same time hire abroad and then bring them to America? That is so disrespectful. That is so evil. That is so evil. How can you do that? That's got to stop. Facts. Shout out to Jughead for the support. Greetings, IP. A certain group of people are spoiling our beloved India. I'll be traveling to Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, and Vancouver this October. I will give you some live broadcasts like I did last year. Respect, bro. Brother, reach out to me on IG, brother, so we can actually set some times for us to do the live streams, brother, from abroad. That's awesome, brother. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Josh John for the support. This is a big win for all brothers, whites included. My only hope is that they don't lobby Congress to pass a loophole. Accounting and tech were H-1B heaven. Facts. Absolute facts, bro. Absolute facts. Big facts. Big win. Enough is enough. Big win for the tech bros too. A lot of tech bros who are passport bros. That's got to stop. All right. So if you want to call in, the link is in the live stream chat. I'll post it again. If you want to chime in, how do you feel about this? You haven't got to be a tech person, right? But feel free to call in. Okay. Let me bring in Buck in the background. Okay. Hold on. How you doing, Buck? You good?
Hey man, salute man. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. How you doing, man? Brother, been a minute. How are you well?
Yeah. I'm well. I just been busy, with life and all that. I haven't had a chance to catch up to your show. I don't know. I'm not getting the notifications or what, because I think it's out of my algorithm. Because like I'm subscribed to you, but it's like it's not showing up on my front page. But it's just same old same. Just traveling, exploring new places, and I've been into a lot of. I just got back from Spain. Spain was dope. Spain is very underrated. I think that's a topic for next time. But in regards to this topic, here's the thing: the U.S. companies are doing this on purpose because when they get an H-1B1 Indian worker, they can exploit that worker. They can overwork that worker. They can do all kind of like illegal, like not illegal thing, but basically overwork that worker to the point that he can't complain, because if he leaves the company, his H-1B1 visa would be canceled. Because you remember, he can't job hop. He's not an American citizen. If a company would do the same thing to an American citizen would be like, bet, okay, you treat him like this, I'm going to go to another company, job hop. Where the H-1B1 visas, Indian workers, they're just unfortunately forced to train. And here's the thing: I don't know why people are blaming the Indians, the H-1B1 Indians. I blame the companies. It's the companies that's exploiting this loophole. That's the middleman. That's the person who's or the companies. They're controlling all of this. I don't blame the Indian for getting like this opportunity. But it's the companies that's doing this to exploit. I've heard certain cases where American workers had to train their replacements. Then they get laid off. Microsoft just did that. It was, what is it, about 4,000 American employees was laid off. Guess what? Another 4,000 something was H-1B1 Indian workers was hired. So you see how messed up that is? That is the messed up. And now, if even college grads, it used to be back in the days when you had a computer science degree, you like that. It's like you instantly gonna get a like a good, decent job instantly, a software engineering job instantly. Now, tell them why the computer science majors and computer science engineering majors, they have the highest unemployment rate amongst college majors. So you see how fucked up it is? Then on
Messed
top
up.
of that, you got this AI automation thing that's occurring. So it's like a double sword. On one hand, you're being replaced with H-1B1 Indians. Then on the other hand, a lot of these companies are automating a lot of the things due to AI, which is why right now the market is just fucked up for
Bye-bye. Keep it PG, yeah? Avoid swearing, please.
I'm sorry. Which is why the market is messed up for Americans. You see what I'm saying? And the thing with Indians is like when they come to the US, and let's say they work at these companies for 4 or 5 years, 70 years, then they get a manager role. When they become managers, they hire one of their own. They don't hire white, Black American, Asian American, Hispanic American. They will hire another Indian. Then the Indian will work over there. He will become a manager. He will repeat the same cycle. They will keep it within their own selves. So you see how effed up this shit is? Matter of fact, I don't know if you heard about this IP, but there was a lawsuit in California where actually a law was passed in California. You know how there's like a race discrimination, gender discrimination. Now they added Indian caste discrimination.
Wow.
So what's happening in the Silicon Valley is the certain class of the Indian caste system was only hiring within that caste system. They were not hiring within other caste systems. So the state of California, there was a lawsuit. Find out about this, and the governor passed a law saying that you cannot discriminate now based on caste system. So they bringing that Indian shit to the states.
Brother, keep it PG. Don't swear, bro.
I'm sorry, brother, man. I'm because I'm passionate about this. It's like it's just something I'm passionate about. Just seeing the struggle. So my bad. So they're bringing that Indian stuff, that whole caste system and all that culture, backward culture, to the states and trying to infrastructure over here. You see what I'm saying? Look it up. The state of California passed a anti-caste system discrimination law because certain Indians were coming to the US as H-1B1. They get the experience. Then once they get the manager role, they will not only hire Indian, but they will hire Indian within the same caste system. So not only they're discriminating against Americans, they're discriminating within their own Indian community, keeping within their own caste system. So somebody, an Indian named Patel, is going to hire another Indian named Patel. Like, for example, a North Indian Punjabi is going to come in over there, not going to hire the South Indian. So you see how messed up it is?
Yeah.
So even though I don't agree 100% with Trump, I think this is in the right direction. This is something that, as you said, Obama never did. This is Biden, something that never did. So this is actually a good step in the right direction.
Facts. Great breakdown there, Buck. I'm going to bring in Bobby next and Jem after. Buck, stay on the line. You were in Spain. Where were you in Spain? Were you in Barcelona?
No, not Brunswick. South of Spain. I'm a post the city in the chat for you. I mean, keep it between us.
Yeah, it was a movie.
Yeah, it was. I would say, man, Spanish. Yeah, that city over there in the chat.
But we were supposed to do Peru in the past, you know, other stuff as well, brother. Like, you know, Venezuela as well. Like, brother, like, reach out to me, bro. But I'm here, man. I want to do it for you. I want to do that. Do a stream with you, brother. But in your own
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
okay?
definitely do a stream with you. And there's another country I also get back from. I'm posting in the chat. It was I would say, man, I was seeing the brothers was doing good out there. I was just saying, I was seeing like it surprised me. So that's a place that I will say that place you can actually, and I was seeing like you can actually like marry them, like they're looking for marriage shit. Like, I'm sorry, they're looking for a marriage type of relationship. So
All right, brother. I want to keep on chat, brother. That's my IG in the private chat.
yeah,
Send me a DM, bro, and let's just get it done, man. Would
yeah.
appreciate it. Okay?
Let's get a show together. I mean, what do you want to make the topic? I mean, because I've been traveling.
Brother, we'll discuss it on IG, okay?
Okay,
Let's
so
stand
okay,
line.
cool. I'm
Stand the line,
gonna
brother.
stay. I'm gonna mute myself. All right.
All right, thank you, bro. Let me bring in Bobby in the background, okay? Bobby, how you doing, brother? You good?
Yeah, brother, how you doing?
I'm okay, brother. Fire away, bro.
Yeah, so I'm calling from Montreal, Canada, right? And what you mentioned about Canada is so true. Like, if you live here, it's basically cooked. Especially if you live in Ontario, like over there, it's a whole different story. And I run a firm that works mainly with recruitment firms that are hiring and recruiting for people that are in tech, right? So they're working with tech companies. And I started seeing my clients, mainly in the US, one by one go out of business just because people didn't need their services anymore. Because either they were hiring people with the visas or they were using AI to do what my clients used to do. And that hurt everybody, right? Because there was just less people in the tech sector, and you had all these students graduating from university with degrees they couldn't really use anymore because somebody from abroad was going to come replace them. And because the companies didn't want to hire anymore, they didn't really need these recruiting firms. So I started seeing my clients go out of business, which also affected me and my company. So we had to pivot entirely, right? The only people we saw survive was people that were focusing specifically on AI. Like, that's still booming. But any other sort of tech or SaaS company that was a recruitment firm, we just saw it get destroyed. And I think this was a good move because I think it's really, really going to save the U.S. economy, which is going to create more jobs for everyone, and there's going to be more money to go around. So that's my opinion on that.
Damn. So, Bobby, so is that bad in Canada? I heard it was really bad, but you are Canadian. I heard it's very bad in Toronto. But what's happening there, brother? You know, even like outside of like the IT stuff, right, or the H-1B stuff, whatever. Brother, is it really that bad in Toronto and Canada as a whole with that certain group of people keeping it COVID?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like, I live an hour and a half from the infamous place known as Brampton, which I'm sure many of you have heard. But even when you're not over there, where there's like more Indians now than Canadians, even when you go to like Victoria, which is north of Vancouver, you go to Tim Hortons, you go to Subways, you go to McDonald's, it's all Indians. And I swear, it's not a joke, it's not a stereotype. The whole meme about them not understanding your order, sometimes you see these TikToks and they can't even like understand that you're ordering a strawberry milkshake. It's true. And I just gave up on repeating myself to them. I just take whatever wrong order they give me, and I just continue as my day goes by because I've given up on re-explaining what the order was, right? And I don't want to be that guy that's clogging the whole line. But it's true, and you see it in every sector. You see it in tech. You see it in just regular restoration jobs. It's really affected Canada. And for me, I don't even care about which country is doing it. It's more the fact that it's affecting Canadians. Like, if you were to bring in way too many people from any place, this was going to happen. And what the Canadian government isn't telling people is that each year they're actually breaking record numbers for how many people they're bringing in, right? And you would think that in Canada, with the housing crisis and everything that's happening, they would bring in less people, but it's not true. If you just go and you ask ChatGPT for the data, it's going to give you the sources that 2025, they already brought in more people than 2024. So they're not even trying to slow this thing down. I don't know what they're thinking or what the agenda is, but it's not looking good. And I'm glad because, for me at least, most of my clients are from the US. And when the whole tech sector and the recruiting sector there for tech started crashing, we started pivoting everything. But now it looks like there's going to be a renaissance. And I think other countries are hopefully going to follow suit and put their citizens first and people that are local first.
Absolutely, man. It's about time. I think it's always from that country. I just don't get it. Like, why are they always bringing it from that country? Never from African country or Caribbean country. Always that country. And I'm just thinking that something's off here. I'm sick of it, bro.
Can I interject? You know why?
Yeah, yeah.
You know why? So it alludes to what I just said earlier. So when an Indian comes over here at the H-1B1, they get hired in, they become managers, then they become senior managers, then they become vice president, then they become CEOs. Once that happens, what happens?
It's gonna bring
Now
their people in.
you start lobbying government officials to bring in more Indians. So that's the reason why. You would think that it will be evenly allocated throughout the world. You would get like it's an equal allocation. Like you would get certain amount of Nigerians, certain amount of Indians, certain amount of Germans here to the States. But when you look at it, 60% of the H-1B1s came from India. That goes to show you there's a lot of lobbying. There are these tech CEO Indian what they do. They do a lot of lobbying to bring their own people. Look at the CEO of Google. He's an Indian. CEO of what is the other company? Google, Microsoft, Indian. There's some other tech Silicon Valley CEOs are Indian. So what they do is like they become senior vice president, CEOs, and they start lobbying government officials, or they start having the company hire more Indians. They're like, why would we hire American when we can bring in this Indian and outwork them, you know? So that's what it alludes to. So when you see that 60% of H-1B1 came from India, that is the reason why. It's they particularly hiring with their own people. And on top of that, not only they hire within their own people, they're hiring within their own caste, which is why I said earlier, the state of California passed the anti-caste system discrimination laws, which was never a thing in the U.S. Usually it was a racial discrimination, gender discrimination, and an LGBT discrimination. Now there's a new kind of discrimination, and it's like anti-caste system discrimination laws in India. Because what happened was Indian dude from a lower class got discriminated when he applied for a senior vice president role. The guy that was ahead of the HR ended up selecting the same person of the same caste system within the same caste group. So that guy got mad and said, "Yo, I'm going to sue this company." Then this topic became big, to the point that it became a law in the state of California. You see how messed up it is?
Yeah. Damn. This has been a great stream so far, Bobby. I'd love for you to reach out to me on IG as well. I'd love to do a stream review about life in Canada as a brother. I want to definitely spread the word as to what you guys are going through. So if you're interested, brother, my IG's in the private chat of StreamYard. Let me bring in Jam in the background. Been a minute, Jam. I'm gonna bring you in right now. Okay, let's go. What's up, Jam? You good, bro?
Yeah, man, I'm getting ready for my run, but I saw your live, so I had to get on this. And actually, it's funny you mentioned this because I was just talking about this with a good friend of mine, also a black brother that works in tech. So what everyone said, yeah, I agree, like with what everyone said, but I'm not really here to focus on that because I think what the brothers said were on point, but it doesn't really apply to us. Like for example, the caste system, that doesn't really apply to us, or discrimination. I get it, but what I'm trying to say is that this is like a bull market. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, I'm not sure if you're into investing, but if you see right now, gold is shooting up right now. If you remember my streams previously, I told you all about gold, but hopefully y'all did, but. But it's doing very well right now, and especially if you like in the markets like the JDX, like the gold miners doing very well right now. They literally doubled in the past year. So, but what I'm trying to say is that this sector, right, with Trump passing this, which I guess we're all in agreement this is a good thing. This could be another opportunity of another bull market, right? In the sense of like the best time to get into tech, right, was actually when I got into tech, right, which was like around 2017, 2018, actually around 2020, like during COVID was the best time to get into tech. because they needed workers. I mean, if you just showed any type of competency, right, you would get a job, and they would hire you on the spot, and then they would teach you how to do the job. Like when I got into tech, I just took one coding course online. I didn't even know any stacks. Like I didn't know any stacks. I didn't know about, I literally only knew about the basics of coding, like loops and all that stuff. I didn't know about any stacks. I didn't know about Android. I didn't know about React Native. I didn't know any of this stuff. I learned this all on the job. But now it's like, I mean, within 2-3 years later, it's crazy. Like the reverse happens. You have to know everything. Like it went from you just being like, okay, just show promise, and we'll teach you, and we'll build you up, to now you gotta be, a dang near expert, right, in the field, and not only just a field, you have to be expert in what they want you to do. Like it's like before it would be, okay, if I learn this, there's a new coding stack, if it's a new stack, but it's similar, I can adjust. It's like now it's like, okay, if you don't have experience in the stack, we don't want you. And why is that? I mean, yeah, part of that is to do with AI, but let's be honest, that's not really what, I mean, if you're in the field like me, that's not really what it is. We have an inside joke in the field, because they say, oh, you're losing jobs to AI. And that's true. Like if you're a lower level coder, right? If you're like a junior dev and you really can only code basic stuff, like just basic websites, then yeah, I mean, AI can do your job. But if you're actually a proficient coder, that's not what you're worried about. That's not what's replacing your job. Like I said, we have an inside joke. It's not AI that's replacing our job. It's always Indians, right? That's what it is, right? They replace us with Indians, man. So now, right, with Trump adding this whole 100K, right, for the H-1B visa, that's a big step, because it's not like these Indians are better coded than us, right? They're just cheaper. That's really what it is. They just do the jobs for cheaper. I mean, that's really what it is. And they're willing to work less, and then they're also willing not to make as much of a fuss, because they know they're on that the H-1B, and if they mess up or they lose their job, they might not even be able to stay in the U.S. So they can't make as much of a fuss. They don't have as much leverage or bargaining power. So they make for great workers, because they literally, part of their stay in the U.S. is tied to their visas. So if they try to like make a fuss at their job, they might have to leave the country. I mean, at that point, where how are you going to bargain with your employer for more pay, right? When that guy can literally revoke your visa and revoke your right to stay in the U.S. Obviously, that's going to suppress the market for us, because if they can just source us out, right, for the Indians, then that's what they're going to do, and that's what we've been seeing. That's what you see quickly. I mean, I remember in 2020, right, how easy it was to get a job. It was so easy in this sector to get a job. I was trying to tell everyone to do it. And, now it's completely changed. But what I'm saying is that this might provide another bull market. If you go on Reddit, there's something called overemployed. And this is what I did back in 2020, where I was working 2-3 jobs at one point. And honestly, I should have worked more. This is what I was talking about. This is what I was calling my friend about, telling him about this, because if I worked, like I knew some people were working 5-6 jobs remotely, and they were bringing home $1 million, right, in a year. I'm like, I knew him. Like I knew him personally in San Francisco. I knew him personally. Now, my best year was like half that, but I only did that for 1 year, and I was being. I'll be honest with you, I was being lazy. I was in Miami. I was making more money than I ever could have made, right? And if you know about Miami, spring break, all that. Like I was just enjoying life. I was a young man enjoying my life, and I thought I was going to always stay this way. If I could go back in time and redo it again, I would take more jobs. I would have taken like 5. I would take as many remote jobs as I could handle, and I would just grind that out for as long as I could do it. But at the time, I was okay with just doing 2. I actually only did 3 because, like I said, a very good friend of mine who actually got me into tech, he started doing 3 jobs. I didn't want him to one up me. But if it was for him, I would have just done 2 and just been content with that. But I think this now might be another opportunity, especially if your coding skills are up to par, right? To do what I did back in 2021 and 2022. Like I said, there's this Reddit thing called overemployed. If you know what I'm talking about, you're going to see it. A lot of people do this, and this is the reason why. Like I had to like quit some of my jobs, because after the whole I can just say COVID, right? Yeah, the whole COVID thing went away. A lot of these jobs had you come back in the office, and obviously I couldn't do that because I was working at the job, so I just quit them. But now I think that's another opportunity for you to do that again. So I'm excited, because I'm like, all right, maybe this might be an opportunity for me to get second or even a third job. Because if they can't just outsource it to Indians, they're gonna have to hire competent engineers in the U.S. And I do believe that I don't believe it's a lack, but there's obviously going to be less engineers that are competent now that they can't source it with H-1B, and so that's why I'm here to promote.
Great, awesome. No, that was amazing encouragement there, Jam. Absolutely, man. This is obviously great news for our brothers in America, right? It has to. This is it. Like the money's in tech. Like the money's in tech. The remote jobs are in tech, and I wanted to go to passport bros and brothers in this space, right? And we knew it was being abused. The visa system, that's got to stop. Honestly. No, so a great point so far, brothers. Great points. So if you want to call in, the lines open. If you agree, disagree, you want to chime in, feel free to call in. Crazy, man. And the worst thing is that, like, it's one thing to like undercut Americans, right? It's another thing to come into a corporation, not hire black people, because you have biases. So we know like the race relations and how they perceive black people in India isn't good at all, right? Bring that over here, like and even the Chinese too do it as well. Like, and it's like these corporations that they don't even care about us or their own people, knowing that their culture, right, doesn't really align to our culture. Because in our culture, it's all about merit. Can you do the job? Doesn't matter where you're from, what race, can you do the job? Well, their culture, caste system, Sani Ibrahim, Patel. What's all that about? We don't want that in our countries. We don't. I don't care what anyone says. We don't want that in our country. Or you're not from a particular tribe. You're not particular. You don't have a particular surname, Patel, Ibrahim, blah blah blah. Like, who are you to be stubby in our country? You're in my country. Looking down on me and my people? Nah, bruv. Don't do that. I would never go to your country and do that kind of BS. And then that's why I blame the West, because sometimes the West is just way too lenient, man. You can be kind, right? But you can't be a pushover. And that's where the West went wrong with, because other countries, they're not on that time, bro. It's ruthless out there in other countries, dog eat dog in other countries, and they bring that mentality over here, and we're all kind, blah blah blah, and we end up getting screwed over. Well, enough is enough, bro. Enough. If you're in Canada, I'd love to hear you call in, and so I can hear about your experience. If you're in the UK too, call in. It's not only an American thing, that it's not only happening in America, it's happening across Western countries, Australia as well.
Yeah.
Now, sorry, brother. They actually want to bring it in. They want to bring in AI, another I, right, into Japan, and I guarantee you they'll be doing that same cast thing in Japan as well. And the Japanese, they ain't ready for that. They ain't ready for that.
Yeah. Here's the thing, man. I mean, America, we don't have it as bad as I think Canada, or to extent the UK, because America is vast, very vast. So the H-1B1 we got is like, I mean, it's very, Canada right now has the worst of it, which is why, as you said, I recommend somebody from Canada in the chat to join the panel just to see their experience. Here's the thing, man, and not only we're getting replaced by in the workforce with the H-1B1, and I agree 100% with Trump. I don't what 100% what he did over here. I don't agree with Trump 100% of the time, but this one is a good call, right? But the Indians, they come to the U.S., to the West. You know, when you say hypothetically you're trying to date their daughters and all that, you can't. I had an experience in college, matter of fact, where I was dating this Indian girl. It was about a year. It was a short-term relationship. Towards the end of the relationship, she said, "I cannot date you because my parents will not. I cannot date you any further because my parents is not gonna approve of the relationship." I was heartbroken back then, bro, because I really she liked me. I really liked her, but unfortunately, she was following what her family was saying at the time. So she ended up marrying this Indian dude from India, which was like she was actually her parents actually. What was that arrangement thing? Arrangement marriage? They did an arrangement marriage with him and her. and this dude was like fresh out of the boat in India. Like he hasn't even been in the country, and they already had him in their minds for her, and it was just messed up at the time. So not only they come into the country looking down on us, Western folks, but they're also, like replacing us in the workforce, and they're not assimilating into the culture. They're not, they're not expanding out. They're very tight knit, and it's just crazy, You don't get that with other communities, but it's just with the Indian community. It's just, I mean, you see what Africa right now is happening in Africa. There's a large Indian community in South Africa and Kenya. You barely see them mixing with the locals, and sometimes they will underpay the locals while they will pay their own over the living standard. So you see how messed up it is. So I would say it's just I'm glad that Trump is doing something about it. This is a very good call by Trump. What this is going to do is this is going to increase the employment rate for the passport bros. So now passport bros can actually do the IT jobs. That's actually good for passport bros, but yeah, this was much needed. This supposed to happen 10 years ago. This is 10 years long overdue. So, and to the brother who said, "Oh, the credentials and all that doesn't matter," it matters, bro. That doesn't matter. If a company can get an H-1B1 from India, and you graduated with 4.0 GPA from what is it? Well, somebody in the chat was saying Georgia Tech, which is a top engineering college, they will pick the H-1B1 because they can exploit that worker. The H-1B1 companies love H-1B1. First of all, they can underpay them, then they can exploit them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before previously.
Sorry, Jam, just to come in here. I love the point when you mentioned, Buck, as to how they're exclusive amongst themselves, right? But we have to be open towards them. But you made a great point there, Buck, especially in Africa as well. And it pains me that they own so much stuff in Africa, right? And then they're paying their own people above the minimum wage, and they're not doing that for Black people that they hire. Like that's what pisses me off about how they do things in their culture, right? Like, can we as a Black person make it in India in anything? Absolutely not, because they'll see our skin color, right? Black. Yep. I guarantee you, doors will be closed in many things, right? Because they're just so insular and for themselves. Whereas we open a door for them in Africa, we open a door for them in the West. I mean, all the liquor stores, Pizza Hut, Subway franchises, they run it, they own it, but we can't make headway in their countries. Like, what's going on here, man? Like, at this point in time, like, enough of the BS, bro. Enough of the BS. And yeah, it's especially the very enclosed in Africa and the Caribbean don't mix with, from what I see, Black people. I'm not saying all do or don't, but most cases they don't, right? What's going on here? Same in the UK too, brother. Same in America. But the doors are open for them in our countries, in our nations. But they're closed off, making all this money. Enough is enough. Enough is enough, bro. I'm sorry. This is getting too much. And no one's speaking up about it, bro. No one. It's BS. It's BS. Absolutely BS, bro. They're making big money in Africa and the Caribbean, bro. Like, listen, I think the richest person in Tanzania, a majority Black nation, is Indian. I mean, is there even a Black person in the top 10 richest people in India? How is it in some African nations, right? The richest person in an African nation is Indian. How? What's going on, bruv? What the hell is really going on? I'm about to crash out in a bit. I'm about to get a kick in a bit because I'm fuming right now, bro. It's been going on for decades now. I'm seeing it. I read a lot of things. I watch a lot of documentaries. I see the goddamn stats, right? And I see, okay, what's going on here? They're closed off, right? but everyone's open towards them for them to do their thing. And then you wonder why people are becoming more alt-right. Last week we had a march in the UK, alt-right march, over 100K attended. You see on Twitter, people are angry on Twitter, bro, and it's about time we start being angry too. You notice that they're closed off, right? They're in their doors, making money with them, sharing bread with them, right? But everyone's open for them to make money off us. What's going on, bruv?
I mean, I kind of mentioned this in our stream, like the Indian stream earlier, all this stuff. So, like, I feel you. It's actually ironic that we're talking about this because last night, I was out drinking, and I met a couple of Indian people, and I was talking to them, and they were actually very honest because I told them my experience, right, about how I was in college. There was a lot of Indian girls. The Indian girls liked me, but they had to act a certain way when they're around Indian men because Indian men are like the whole close off for the daughters, or they'll taint them. It's pretty much like how whites were a couple decades back. You know what I'm saying? The Indians behave that way to this day, and they'll get called out for it. You know what I mean? And so I was telling them that. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's absolutely true." Like he completely he pretty much validated my experience. He's like, "Yeah, they'll do that. It's absolutely true," and then explain for whatever reason why they do that and all that stuff like that. So it's absolute facts. And then the other thing I'll say is, in terms of the whole Africa thing, I think that's like a legacy of colonization. Because like if I remember, they had like the whole hair test, where like if they put a pen in your hair and you could shake it and it wouldn't fall out, right? You were considered like black, right? If you put a hair in your hair, you shake and it fall out, you consider like Indian or whatever, like fair skin or whatever. And if you put a pen in your hair and it just fell out, even without having to shake it, you were considered like white, and that was the way that they casted you. So that's kind of like so when we quote unquote got our independence, right? That casting never really like. I know it's much more prominent in India, but it's still like, remember, like they did that in our countries as well. So that's still prominent. That's the reason we see that to this day. Yeah, it's like I said, it's unfortunate. And you know what the most unfortunate thing is, right? IP, because we're seeing this backlash, right? This backlash isn't to do with us. Like I wish it was to do with us. I wish it was to do with the minority seeing all this stuff. But this backlash or Trump adding the whole 100K for H-1B, that didn't start until it started affecting white people. That's the only time that we saw a pushback because white people started seeing it. That's really what happened.
Yep. Yeah,
Facts.
Facts. But the thing is, it just didn't. You got to think about it. Just America's diverse, so it just didn't affect white people because now college graduates are like all types of people. They're Asian Americans, they're Hispanic Americans, they're white Americans, they're Black Americans. So now it affected all Americans. This is an American issue. This is an American issue and an America first issue. So
man, because people of all like black people have been complaining about this for years. They've been complaining about discrimination from Indians for decades, bro. Like I know this, right? Same thing with the Hispanics. It wasn't until the white people started complaining that you started seeing things being done about it. Because I'm telling you, bro, I know. Right, this has been affecting us for decades, bro, and we've been vocal about it. And it's like, oh, well, they work harder than you. The whole model minority crap. That's really what it was. Until it started affecting the white people, that's when it was like, oh, we got to do something about it. What happened to the whole?
Understand your point. Okay, yeah, that's an excellent point, man. That's a good point. And here's the thing, like I was saying, and one thing I notice about it is like, when they come to our countries, they're kind of rude. One thing I notice, in America, you have certain etiquettes, like you hold the doors for
keep it PG, yeah, brother. Keep it coded, yeah. Just, yeah.
They hold the doors for others. In America, we have this etiquette where you hold the door for the person behind you and all that.
All right, sorry, hold on for there, yeah. Brother, let's go to kick. All right. Let's go to kick. So we can be a bit more open to speaking. All right. I want everyone on kick. All right. If you're just joining, we're taking over to kick because I want to just make sure we speak our mind for a bit. So let's go on kick. All right. So I'm going to post the kick link in the live stream chat. I think it's better that way. that smoke. If I'm honest with you, if I'm honest, I need to just keep it a bit coded. So let's go on Kick, okay? I want everyone on Kick, all right? So if you're just joining us, we're going to go on Kick in a minute or two. So here's a Kick link in the live stream chat. So Kick After Party up next. I just think it's better that way. But this has been a great convo to kickstart things. Kick After Party up next. And we can speak a bit more freely there. But again, just keep it respectful as well. I get it. But let's just go on Kick. I think it's better that's okay.
And I'm gonna just say end it with this. Is this the frustration? It's like, and I'm gonna keep it just PG. Just you have this group of people. They come to our country, steal the job. Then on top of that, look down on us. Then on top of that, when you date their daughters or trying to marry their daughters, it's like some kind of pushback. It's like, you see what I'm saying? It's like there's a thing against us, and we're Americans are pushing back against these H-1B1 people. So yeah, so it's IP. This is a good topic. We can go ahead and to the Kick right now.
Let's go on Kick again. These are the words of individuals. Again, not the channel thinking. Again, all right. So let's go on Kick. All right, just to make things a bit more. Just be careful here. Shout out to Just John for the support. Thank God Trump did this before our first H-1B CEO. Yes, indeed. Thank you, John, for the support. Third time tonight. Shout out to Mr. Guy Cagneo for the support. This 100K thing will cause a greater push for AI to take jobs in IT. Why pay a dude 200K when AI can do it for less? I work in IT. I'm not clueless. Well, I work in IT as well, brother, right? And AI isn't perfect. And I'm sure Jam can attest to that too. It's great, but there's a lot of things that I've noticed that is wrong with AI. And if these companies rely on AI, they're going to get screwed. That's why I don't believe AI is taking any jobs realistically, heavily in a very long time. A human needs to go through what his AI spews out, and what you input into AI. I've seen some code that AI writes or work is back. It's impressive, but there's some mistakes here. There's something called vibe coding as well. A lot of people creating apps via AI, and they got hacked, bro. One recently, the T app, I think it was vibe code. I may be wrong here, but I think that was when I was vibe coded. That got hacked. It's over now, realistically, for that app. So if they rely on this AI, any company that's doing so, they're idiots. That's why me and Phil, we're not worried, bro. We're not.
And the problem with AI, and the problem with AI is that it's not. The problem with AI is that it's not precise. Like, people who like, I'm just being, if you don't code or if you're not in this field, I understand why you don't get it. But if you actually are in the field, you know what I'm talking about, right? You can get someone to create an app for you. Like you can ask an app, you can actually how to create an app, or let's say like make like a game for you, right? But then if you want to change something specific, or you want to change one thing or how it interacts, like it's just not precise. And then the worst part is if you can't get it to change that, right, and you try to do it manually, you don't understand the AI code that they generate. You don't understand the slop. Oftentimes it takes even more time and effort to understand what the AI was coding in order to like fix the problem than it is to just rebuild it yourself. So it's just not I mean, for simple things, right? Yeah, AI is cool. But if you're talking about really complex systems, like for example, like, I code like search engines, stuff like that, or if you're talking about like complex algorithms like that, and you want to use AI for that, and AI messes one thing, you have to essentially rebuild the whole thing yourself. And why even do that? Like, what's the point? Like, it just even makes sense. So, like, I get it. Maybe at one point in time, AI will reach a point, but right now, I don't think it's anywhere near close. Like, you're going to need human engineers. Even if you have the AI doing the code, you're going to need someone to do a once over and be able to understand it. Because unfortunately, the AI just oftentimes there'll be hallucinations and they'll code swap, and especially when you're dealing with sensitive data and all that stuff, you can't afford to have the security risk because that's your brand right there. Right. If you have just one time where people are able to leak data, like what IP said about the whole T app, I mean, that's your brand. You're done at that point. So people are just not want to risk that.
Facts, absolute facts, Jam. All right, let's go over to Kick. If you're on YouTube, head over to Kick. The stream is now in the live stream chat. I'll see you on Kick. Okay. So I'm going to end the stream on Facebook. Facebook gang, I'll see you on Kick. Twitch gang, I'll see you on Kick. Rumble gang, I will see you on Kick. Okay. And YouTube gang, okay. If you're on YouTube, I'll see you on Kick. Make sure you create your account on Kick and follow me on Kick as well. It's just easier that way. So when I go live, you know I'm live, etc., etc. And for like these kind of talks, we gotta do on Kick because too sensitive for YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna end the stream on